No, you're saying it. You're saying a continuation in some ways of the argument that Donald Trump put forth in 2020 that the polls are always wrong unless he's winning, or that the outcome is always wrong unless he's winning as well. So his campaign has for weeks now been trying to create the illusion that he's the front runner. He's campaigning in New Mexico, which isn't a key swing state. He's set to campaign in Virginia, for example, which isn't a key swing state. Again, this comes off the heels of him campaigning in New York over the weekend. The thought there, the psychology behind that, is to give the illusion that he doesn't even have to be necessarily bothered with just campaigning or constrained to the swing states. He can go on offense in those other states. Therefore, that should mean to voters that, oh, he must have a comfortable lead in places like Pennsylvania.
And what is the kind of intent here from the campaign? Is the idea that if he doesn't win, there'll be more people that, I guess, believe that there's perhaps the election wasn't exactly fair?
Yeah, it lays the groundwork for him to make this argument. His campaign surrogates have, for the better part of the last week, also been touting many of the lawsuits that they filed across the country right now. Again, in states that they aren't even competitive, or and they know that they're not competitive in. But the thought is to essentially lay the groundwork for if he somehow loses a state like Pennsylvania, which is starting to come into focus as the crown jewel of the battleground states come Tuesday, that it sets up the argument for him to say that we need a recount, that we need to challenge this, to file litigation, to have supporters kind of enraged about it as well, in order to bolster his argument and his movement.
Help me out here, Mario, because I see a difference in the position that he's in right now in 2024 versus 2020, because he's not in the White House right now. What power does he actually have not to concede or not to acknowledge an outcome of the vote, given that he is not commander-in-chief and he doesn't need to vacate anything on January 20th?
Yeah, that's a great point, Tim. I mean, the other part is he's not bound to have to concede either, right? Polls show this is gonna be a razor-thin election. Every poll that we've seen so far has it within a margin of error. So, I mean, in some places, again, he puts forth this argument, demands a recount, demands some type of, makes enough noise, puts forth a credible enough argument that it gets to the Supreme Court, which has often ruled in his favor.
So how is, I guess, the Trump campaign's strategy different than, I'm thinking of Harris's campaign or other political leaders in the past who have campaigned with this optimistic idea that, oh, we're going to win, as a tactic to just rally their supporters?
Yeah, I think there's a difference there. The distinction is, Kamala Harris is in fact one of those candidates that we've seen in the traditional mold who is espousing confidence on the campaign trail. The difference is, and the distinction is, with Trump's argument, is that he's not only saying that if he does. He feels confident that he's going to win, but he is quite clear making a caveat as well that if we don't win, it's because some malfeasance occurred. He's saying as much on the campaign trail.